Good evening and welcome. This is News First Primetime News. I am Shahin Jurong-Pati.
I'm Stephanie Lazarus. Before we go into your stories in detail, here's a look at the headlines.
President holds talks with high-level Chinese delegation. OHCHR report and the Udalagama and Paranagama Commission reports tabled in Parliament. Kundia released from the case taken up at the Athanagala Magistrates Court. Complained to the HRC citing violation of rights. Justin Trudeau elected new Canadian Prime Minister.
On to your top story tonight, a high-level Chinese delegation called on President Maithripala Sirisena today.
The delegation of the Communist Party of China included the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly of the Republic of China. President Maithripala Sirisena expressed deep appreciation to China for providing continuous assistance for the development of Sri Lanka. According to the communique issued by the President's media division, the President has said that Sri Lanka anticipates the fullest cooperation from China to overcome the challenge of poverty in the country. The Chinese delegation presented a memento to the President on the occasion. The 9th Annual General Meeting of the Institute of Environmental Professionals was held today under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena. What I witnessed was that during the past few years, the environment of this nation was destroyed with the blessings of politicians. There was a time in this country when they used to work towards their own benefit without any love or affection towards nature or the people. I was of the view that this situation should change. Therefore, we arrived at certain decisions that needed to be taken to conserve the environment. I wish to assure to you all that I will take all the necessary action to punish people that do not adhere to the rules and regulations despite their caste or status. The President also presented professionals with the chartered membership at the event.
Also making headlines this evening, the OHCHR report on Sri Lanka, the Udalagama and Paranagama Commission reports were tabled in Parliament today by Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe.
As promised, the Udalagama Commission report, the Paranagama Commission report and the report of the UN Human Rights Council has been tabled in this House. The previous government similarly presented the LLRC report to Parliament. So now all what we have to do is debate about it.
Resolution, the joint resolution that Sri Lanka signed against Sri Lanka has not been presented before Parliament. This is the most important one.
What was requested at the party leaders meeting was the report. However, tomorrow I am ready to present this resolution to Parliament as well. So was it that my fellow parliamentarian held a meeting yesterday and stated that the country has been betrayed without even reading this?
Speaker Karu Jayasuriya informed Parliament today that the financial and tax draft bills tabled by Finance Minister Ravi Karnanayake conforms with the law. When the bills were tabled in Parliament on a previous occasion, Chief Opposition Whip Anurakumar Dissanayake posts saying that as the relevant time frame to do so had lapsed, tabling the bills in question is in contravention to the law.
අදාළ යෝජනා 6 සභාවේ සම්මත කර ගැනීමට හැකි බව දන්වා සිටිනු කැමැත්තිමි.
Is this statement being made based on the advice of the Attorney General? Because if he is not consulted on the matter, we could face a certain risk. Usually when a gazette notification is issued, some of them should be passed in Parliament within 3 months, while others should be passed within 4 months. And if it is not done so within that time frame, that money should be refunded to the taxpayer by the Treasury. So these gazette notifications have not been passed in Parliament accordingly. So while these gazette notifications have not been passed, the Customs Department had implemented the taxes. Our parliamentarian is afraid of what the court will say. If the court says that he does not have this power because there is a budget coming up, we will bring forth a law and make amendments to it by including it. But at this point of time, I am happy that our fellow parliamentarian remembered the rule of law.
අපේ මන්ත්‍රීතුමාට නීතිය ආධිපත්‍ය ගැන මතක් වුණේ නිසා මේ අවස්ථාවේදී මේ සභාවේ දෝෂාභියෝගයක් නැතුව හිටපු අග්‍රවිංශකාරතුමිය ඉවත් කර.
I know that.
Sir, then
I know that, yes. Let him talk then and argue.
Now the Honourable Prime Minister said that the previous Chief Justice was removed without an impeachment motion. That is a complete lie. Can he make such false statements?
Meanwhile, the government resolution to increase the current treasury bill limit by 400 billion rupees was passed in Parliament today. The motion was moved by Finance Minister Ravi Naik.
Still in news from Parliament, a heated debate arose in Parliament over the printing of diaries by the Ministry of Engineering Services, Housing and Common Amenities under the previous regime.
The correct procedures have not been followed in undertaking this task. I would like to ask what disciplinary action or legal action will be taken on this matter. Even the printed diaries have not reached the relevant officers. Therefore, an investigation is underway regarding the matter. An internal and external investigation had been launched into this case. You speak of the former minister. I am the former minister. The Financial Crimes Investigations Division is carrying out an inquiry into this matter. And if we are at fault, we will be taken into custody. I didn't forward these questions to the MP of the JVP. I would like to state clearly that I do not engage in such disgraceful politics. 140 million rupees were taken from institutes connected to the Ministry of Housing and Construction. Instead of building houses, instead of providing housing loans, instead of providing subsidies to build houses, what has happened is the printing of diaries. All these acts have taken place violating the monetary regulations of the government.
Several incidents concerning the security of children were reported today as well.
Police say that it has received a complaint over an attempted kidnapping in Marvanella last night. Our correspondent said that the suspect had removed the window pane and entered the bedroom of the child. The suspect had fled through the window after the child had raised an alarm, putting the parents on alert. A police investigation is underway. No arrests have been made as yet. A child left unattended was found in a bus plying from Anuradhapura to Nabadagasdilya in the Nochiagama bus stand. After dialing several numbers that were found in the child's book, the parents were traced. Incidentally, it was the child's mother that had instructed the bus driver to drop the child at the preschool. However, the driver of the bus had failed to do so. Later, the driver of the bus had taken measures to hand over the child to the mother.
I usually send the child in the bus to go to school. We know who the bus driver is, so there was no issue. He drops the child at the preschool every day, so I thought he did the same today as well. There was only the conductor today and there was no driver.
The bus driver forgot to drop the child at the particular bus stop and had gone all the way to the Nochiagama town. Even after reaching the Nochiagama town, the driver had failed to look into the child. The mother of the child was summoned to the police station and a statement was recorded from her. After the police headquarters received information of this, it had immediately instructed the Nochiagama police station to take legal action against the bus driver on charges of putting a child's safety at risk and negligence. This could be your child. Let's protect them for the happiness of our children. Newsfirst had undertaken an initiative aimed to ensure the protection of children and build them a better future. This island-wide awareness campaign, organized by Newsfirst together with the Ministry of Law and Order and Prison Reform, reached Negombo today.
This could be your child. Let's protect them for the happiness of our children.
You need to be more vigilant about the children. As parents, it is your responsibility to look into your children. There is no point in simply putting your child into the bus or any other vehicle. You need to drop your child at school before you go to work. A society that never protects children will never be a fruitful one.
Unparalleled hearts of innocence, weightless on winds, these blossoms dance, blessings you.
The campaign for the happiness of our children kicked off opposite the Negombo bus stand. Students from the Don Bosco Technical School in Negombo and the members of the Negombo Hospital Development Fund rendered their invaluable support for the campaign.
On outstretched wings, far and wide they'll fly, beyond all kingdoms and above all thrones.
The duty to protect them by us must be born.
This act is extremely commendable. My aspiration is that everyone comes together to protect the children of the country. There is less interaction between the parents and the children. We have the responsibility of awakening the parents and the elders in this regard. We joined with you today in order to fulfill those responsibilities. Jesus spoke on children in an emotional manner. We joined with you to spread that message. The Sirasa media is undertaking an awareness program that needs to be done by the government. They are the ones who come to the fore in every project. We are thankful to them for the service that they have undertaken. Although laws are created, they need to be implemented. The children should know the law. There is no national child protection policy. Even if there is one, the people are not aware about it. The people must be made aware of this policy.
Another edition of this program took place in Sidua today. A walk was organized by the Sidua Police and the Methodist Church and saw a large number of volunteers render their support.
This could be your child. Let's protect them for the happiness of our children.
Former MP Sajin Divas-Gunawardena, who was remanded and later released over the misuse of state property, was granted permission today to go abroad for 5 days to seek medical treatment. The Colombo Chief Magistrate granted permission for the parliamentarian to seek foreign medical treatment upon a request made by him to this effect.
Sajin Divas-Gunawardena had sought permission from courts to travel abroad for medical treatment for 7 days. Taking the request into account, the courts permitted him to go abroad from the 25th to the 30th of October. Colombo Chief Magistrate Gihan Pilapitiya ordered that the passport of the former MP should be returned to courts before the 3rd of November. The former MP was brought to court today under special protection. When I sent a letter to the Ministry of Defence seeking security details, they said that personal security cannot be provided. A case was also filed by Upul Jayasuriya of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka. Even at that time, the Secretary of the Ministry of Defence noted that personal security cannot be provided. As far as we are aware, police security cannot be provided to anyone who is not a VIP or an MP. This is wrong. The former MP is only a suspect over the misuse of state property. We are not aware of the process of providing security to suspects after granting bail.
Dinesh Priyashanta alias Kondea, who was a suspect in the Seyasadeomi homicide and later acquitted, was produced before the Attanagala Magistrate Court today. He was produced before court as he failed to appear in court as a witness over a separate case. A warrant was issued on Kondea for failing to appear in court to present evidence and was produced before court today. As the case had concluded on a previous occasion, steps were taken by the Attanagala magistrate to release Dinesh Priyashanta. As the case had concluded on a previous occasion, steps were taken by the Attanagala magistrate to release Dinesh Priyashanta. He was, however, remanded in connection with another case. A complaint was lodged with the Human Rights Commission today stating that the rights of Dinesh Priyashanta, alias Kondea, had been violated.
If there was any assistance or if he had committed the crime with his brother, charges needed to be filed on aiding and abetting the murder. However, he was released without any charge. What will be said about the statement that he had signed? The people need to be held accountable. The CID and the police had acted based on their own accord. This cannot happen. That is why we filed a complaint with the Human Rights Commission.
The National Building Research Organisation says that the landslide warnings issued to 9 districts as a result of the prevalent weather is still in effect. The Department of Meteorology said that a rainfall of over 75 millimetres could be expected in certain areas of the island over the next few days.
The districts of the Kandy, Mathale, Nuwara, Badulla, Kegol, Ratnapura, Kalutura, Gaul and Matara have currently been issued warnings on landslides and cut slope failures. The National Building Research Organisation says that the Passara, Bandarawala, Alla, Haldumulla, Haliala, Valimada and Uwaparanagam divisional secretaries of the Badulla district are at greater risk of landslides and cut slope failures. 6 homes in the Valigolapala area in Ratnapura were damaged due to the collapsing of an earth embankment. Vehicular movement on the Balangoda Ila Kurumbare main road was hampered due to an earth embankment collapsing on the Talakamda road. However, traffic on the road has been restored. The bridge which runs across the Veganga from the Dallas Junction in Opanayaka to Godakavela collapsed last night due to the incessant rains. The Kokmaduwa-Imuduwa stretch of the Southern Expressway, which was temporarily closed, was reopened this afternoon. The Southern Expressway was closed down on numerous occasions over the past few weeks due to the threat of landslides.
In business news, Sri Lanka observed World Statistics Day 2015 today. At an event organized in Colombo, the need for proper socio-economic policies were raised.
The Department of Census and Statistics organized an event to mark World Statistics Day 2015 in Colombo. The theme for World Statistics Day 2015 was Better Data, Better Lives. We need to obtain accurate data and formulate a policy. The benefit will help many others to create an environment where the people can live in prosperity. If this is to materialize, the national statistics system needs to be rectified according to the modern trends.
Well, demographic environment is very conducive for economic takeoff, even right now. Presently, lowest level of dependency prevails the age structures are concerned. Rapid aging could fade away this favorable environment. Aging is very rapid. By 2020s or 30s, 1 person out of 4 is going to be elderly person. Almost very close to 1 out of 4. This is an opportunity that should not be missed out. If we missed out this opportunity, it is more or less like a demographic turbulence, catastrophic kind of situation. Well, Sri Lanka yet to put in place the appropriate social and economic policies that are needed to fully capitalize the dividend. Are we in the correct track? Not me, you have to answer.
Minister of Finance Ravi Karnanayaka spoke at a seminar titled Sri Lanka 2020 Potential for Investment yesterday, organised by the Sri Lanka-Malaysia Business Council for the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce. MTV and MBC partnered the seminar as the electronic media sponsor.
What was within the 8 months to 9 months up to now, we have been on the spot, in the sense our expenditure has been less than the revenues we intend getting. But what the budget deficit that was projected was 5.8, we reduced to 5.6. But we see that being owing to certain expenditure that was not seen when we took over, expenditure made on agreements signed without cabinet approvals was running to roughly in the range of about 280 billion. So owing to that fact, we find that the budget deficit would be somewhere in the range of about 6.8, 6.9. I'm a little concerned. We have got my good, the journalist that I hear his son, they pick this up and say the budget deficit is this. Now, I would basically call upon you all also be responsible in it, because what we're doing at this particular moment is just getting the platform put into a correct state. So my feeling is in the range of 6.5 to 6.8.
Minister Karunanayake also said that Sri Lanka has earned more revenue in 2015, but public debt was very high.
We have public debt which is extremely high. You have roughly 8.7 trillion and debt servicing which is equivalent to our total revenue. GDP, the revenues to GDP is roughly about 10.65%. How can you afford to do this? But we have to do it. You can't say that that is the inheritance and say we can't go forward. You all had confidence in us. We have confidence in you.
Still in local news, UNP Western Provincial Councillor Susil Kindalpitiya presented a motion of no confidence against the Provincial Minister Lalit Wanigaratne today. A motion of no confidence which was presented to the Chairman of the Provincial Council says that this measure was taken against the appointment of unsuitable persons to positions.
Privilege questions raised at the Western Provincial Council meeting today. On the 7th, at 11:46, I received a phone call from a person identifying himself as Rasika, the Secretary of the Joint Union of the Passenger Transport Authority. In a threatening tone, he told me that when the Chairman is attempting to revive the institution, I am sabotaging it. He wanted to speak to me. Then I asked what am I to say. He spoke to me in a threatening manner. This is a violation of privileges. If such an allegation is made, we need to resolve it. I kindly request that officers and the heads of this institution to be summoned. Western Provincial Councillor Upali Kutikara arrived at the council under the protection of prison guards. The Cinnamon Gardens police summoned me at 10 in the morning. I went with my lawyers and I was told that I will be given bail under Article 34. It was said that I obstructed duties. I did not do so. As a public representative, I can go wherever I want. Every citizen in the country has that right. He removed the cap of the police DIG, but there was no one to speak of this then. We are against this action made on the timely basis. The Chief Minister is the Minister of Law and Order in the province. You need to summon the DIG in charge of Colombo. The IGP has been informed of his privileges. It may be the DIG or any other rank. I instructed the Secretary to conduct an investigation.
An urgent motion was tabled at the Eastern Provincial Council today to demand authorities to release Tamil prisoners.
Deputy Chairman of the Eastern Provincial Council, Indra Kumar Prasanna, moved an urgent motion on Tamil prisoners today.
A presidential pardon should be given to Tamil political prisoners. The Eastern Provincial Council needs to make a request from the President. We are all in agreement that these prisoners need to be given a pardon and released. This motion was moved at a time there is a conducive environment for a favorable result. Those who wanted a separate state and supported terrorism are being detained. I am of the opinion that if they have been found guilty by the law, legal action needs to be taken against them. However, if someone is being detained without a charge, those individuals need to be released. Is this motion being moved to release those who created a grave destruction to this country through terrorism? Terrorists should not be released. We were not able to walk on the streets during the last 30 years. The country's economy was destroyed. The LTTE destroyed the country's economic hub and killed people. If there are individuals behind bars for creating this destruction, they should be held accountable.
Meanwhile, 2 UNP councillors joined the ruling party of the Eastern Provincial Council.
In news overseas, Justin Trudeau will be Canada's next Prime Minister after leading the Liberal Party to a stunning majority government win, dashing the hopes of Stephen Harper, who had been seeking his 4th consecutive mandate but will now step down as party leader.
Now, this will be the second time for Canada to be led by Trudeau, as the 43-year-old Liberal leader follows in the footsteps of his father, Pierre Elliott Trudeau, who served as Prime Minister for almost 16 years before retiring in 1984.